Revolution Profile, rendering by Sai Kiran Reddy, Nala Reddy, 2009, December 1st. Setright is an international movement for the transformation in the status quo of injustice, illiteracy, poverty, imperialism, root causes of terrorism, climate change, and environment unsustainability. It is a mass mobilization of youth who have begun to question these anomalies and have taken the responsibility of setting them right. The tools of the revolution are institutional mechanisms which impart value-based, knowledge-driven, character-building education, social enterprises to create affordable products and services for the common man, and public policy think tanks to enable and empower great governance. All divisions of Setright work with more than 4,748 organizations worldwide in partnerships of varying genres, including financing, capital support, capacity building, transparency, standard setting, impact maximization, and accountability. The number and the quality of these partnerships keep increasing every hour that is passing by. On December 30th, 2025, the nation states in our 15 focused regional zones have no absolute poverty, no terrorism, no corruption, and comprehensive human development. The means to these ends are universal, all-round education, excellent tertiary healthcare, social enterprises, institutions to empower and enable sustainable development and great governance. Our belief that governs our activity is that people are more or less the same. At least our similarities far outweigh our differences. Though the grassroots level of implementation is bound to differ from one nation state to another, the generic principles behind the solution to each challenge are the same. Every single person on the planet is aware of the need of a dramatic transformation in the status quo. He or she is waiting for it to happen, or worse, has lost hope and has become resigned and cynical and succumbed to chronic inauthenticity. Change always happens at the point of threshold. Change will always come. But is it the change we desire, or is it the change we have to submit to? To quote Emerson, the believer not only beholds his heaven to be possible, but already to begin to exist. Not by men or materials the statesman uses, but by men transfigured and raised above themselves by the power of principles. To principles, something else is possible that transcends all the power of expedience. Every great and commanding moment in the annals of the world is the triumph of enthusiasm. Furthermore, results always come in proportion to enthusiasm applied. We must all be lovers, and at once the impossible becomes possible. Etc. All are hardcore believers before anything. Our age in history for the last thousands of years has not been the history of kindness but of selfishness. We hereby declare that from very near future until the earth ends, it is going to be an age of universal love, humanity, compassion, and positive action. Love would put a new face on this very old world in which we dwell as pagans and enemies too long, and it would warm the heart to see how fast the vain diplomacy of statesmen, the importance of armies and navies and lines of defense would be superseded by this unarmed child. Love will creep where it cannot go, will accomplish that by imperceptible methods, being its own lever, fulcrum, and power which force could never achieve. Love and love alone is the hardness of the Setright movement. Let our affection and love flow out to our brethren. It would operate in a moment the greatest of all revolutions. Time as such is a neutral phenomenon or component of reality. Time can be used for degeneration, stagnation, or progress. It is our choice. So let us choose what is best for us. It is we, the men and women, who do deeds that lead to the progress of mankind. It is we who decide to end tyranny when the threshold is reached, and it surely has. Let not a collective past guide our future. Let not it limit the future possibilities, that the future is an empty space where anything, any dream, any possibility can be created. What we have seen until now is nothing but a very small and insignificant unfolding of the great human journey. Though it has not been full of goodness and the better virtues of man, there is so much more that is possible. There is so much more that we can create together as a people. It is an outright insult to human dignity if we conclude what can happen in the future is bound by what happened in the past. The past does not govern the future. It only has the capacity to inform it. Future by definition is new, uncertain, and filled with space to realize unlimited possibilities. So let us just do it. One of the fundamental principles behind which all our work is based is that of universal equal opportunity. We strongly believe only when this necessary condition is fulfilled, the pursuit of happiness and progress of mankind will be enabled. I repeat, one of the fundamental principles behind which all our work is based is that of universal equal opportunity. We strongly believe only when this necessary condition is fulfilled, the pursuit of happiness and progress of mankind will be enabled. Accident of the womb, as Warren Buffett called it, should not affect the fate of the child, and it shall not real soon. Another fundamental principle and belief is that the rights of man come not from the generosity of the state but from the hand of God. The state's necessity and necessitating responsibility is to provide an effective structure for the man to flourish by practicing his rights to the whims of his will and dreams. There is nothing and shall be nothing that is more significant than the human free will on the planet Earth, at least. Even God abides by it, and I believe it is the core cause of the current state of the planet. Another fundamental principle we believe in is that if people are given a challenge that inspires, touches, and moves them, if they are given a chance to do smart, hard work, they will rise up to the challenge and in the process become their own greater selves. Paraphrasing Kennedy, John F. Kennedy of the United States. Now the trumpet summons us again, not as a call to bear arms, not as a call to battle, but a call to bear the burden of a long twilight struggle, year in and year out, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, a struggle against the common enemies of man, tyranny, poverty, disease, and war itself. Can we forge against these external enemies as well as the enemies within? A grand and global alliance, north and south, east and west, which can ensure a fruitful life for all mankind. Will you join that historic effort? In the long history of the world, only a few generations have been granted the role of defending freedom in its hour of maximum danger. Will we fulfill our role with utmost devotion and in the process become good humans? Or just live our lives like ignorant, cynical, and resigned beasts? May all people of goodwill today join together for a just, a healthy, a prosperous, happy nation and a peaceful planet, as Barack Obama put it. On this day, we meet because we choose hope over fear. We chose unity over conflict. On this day, we come to proclaim end to the petty grievances and false promises, the recriminations and worn-out dogmas that have far too long strangled our politics. We remain a young nation, but in the words of Scripture, The time has come to satisfy childish things. The time has come when we affirm our enduring spirit, to choose a better history, to carry forward a precious gift, that God-given promise that all are equal, all are free, and are given a chance to pursue the full measure of happiness. Greatness is never a given, it must be earned. It has never been the part of the faint-hearted. For those who prefer leisure or work or seek only the riches and fame. Rather, it's been the risk takers, the doers, the makers of things and institutions. All this we can do, all this we will do, starting today, starting right now. We must pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and begin again the work of remaking this great nation. I mean, every nation. These nation states are man-made and yet are seriously interfering with the progress of man. Therefore, they shall be unified real soon. I believe nation states must only exist in order to enable effective public administration, not hinder the progress of mankind. Let's think 10,000 years ahead. Imagine a world where there is one love and one world. Let's think of a world where the ideal of brotherhood, fraternity is present everywhere. To quote Karl Marx from his manifesto of the Communist Party, without restoring autonomy and unity to each nation state, it will be impossible to achieve the international union of the proletariat, or the peaceful and intelligent cooperation of nation states towards common aims. And let's create it in our minds first, for everything gets created twice. Once inside our minds, and then in reality. To quote Napoleon Hill, whatever a man can think and conceive, he can achieve. To quote one of my famous role models, Swami Vivekananda, you can do anything and everything. All power is already within you. Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. Those alone live who live for others. The rest are more dead than alive. Let us together as a people rise up to this renewed call for greatness. Let us rise up to this renewed call for greatness. We act firm in the knowledge. There is nothing so satisfying to the spirit, so satisfying to the spirit, so defining of our character, than giving our all to a difficult task. This is the price and promise of citizenship. This is the true source of our confidence. The knowledge that God calls on us to shape an uncertain destiny. Is it uncertain? No. It is certain. However, there are short-term uncertainties and contingencies we will overcome. We are surely going to transform it. We shall stand in the history as a generation who made the fullest use of the greatest opportunity. Now there are some that question the scale of our ambitions, who suggest that our system cannot tolerate many big plans. Their memories are short, for they have forgotten what this great nation has already done, what great nation states have done, what free men and women can achieve when the nations have joined to a common purpose, and the necessity to be courageous. The above, the below, the sideways, when we see the creation, the Creator calls on us for this renewed call for greatness. All nation states, especially the 57 nation states in our 15 focus regional zones, have their own individual histories, great histories in which they have done much great work. We just need to do it once again and again and again and again if needed, and again in a greater and greater manner until our goals are achieved. That's it. So simple. Very simple. However, work needs to be done, so let us just do it. We do not shrink from this responsibility. Do we? We do not shrink from this responsibility. We welcome it with open hands and open hearts. We do not believe that any of us would exchange places with any other people or any other generation. The energy, the faith, the devotion which we bring to this endeavor will light our countries and all who serve them, and the glow from that fire can truly light the universe. Ask not what your countries can do for you. Ask what you can do for your countries. Ask not what the world can do for you. Ask what you can do for the collective liberation of mankind from self-created chains. Ask what you can do by opening your eyes rather than closing your eyes and shouting it is dark. We in Setright believe we as a people can rise up to this challenge, this great opportunity. But will we? That is the question at hand. We will. Let us march. Speech written by Sai Kiran Reddy, Nalla Reddy, Muhammad Syed, Muhammad Yusuf, Kasif Ansari, Jonathan Korgonga, Alex Smith, Tien Chang, Vian Zhou, Ahmed Nail Nazir, Dilnawaz Khan, Minaj Arasu, and Josephine